Hi, this is John, and today I thought I'd talk about multiple exposure techniques. Someone had requested that I might do a video podcast about this. Many of you may know, if you're a Nikon shooter, you have multiple exposure capabilities built right into your camera. If you have a D80, D90, you have 3. If you have a more prosumer or professional level Nikon camera, you have 10. Just a side note, you really even have more than that because you have image overlay in your Nikon camera. So you could essentially do a multiple of 10 and then do another multiple of 10 and overlay those on top of each other, creating essentially a multiple of 20. Just a side note there, I digress, but heretofore us lowly Canon shooters didn't have or had to manually assemble them. Well, we actually still do, but thankfully a gentleman named Uwe, of which I'll not pronounce his last name because I have enough trouble with the first name, but he's written a script, and my buddy Tony Sweet was kind enough to share with me that when he was out west teaching last year, Uwe saw him struggling to assemble these Canon type multiples together, and said, "This is crazy," and went and wrote the script specifically for Tony, which is very nice. So I'm going to share with you how easy it is now. Just a note on shooting for multiples. You don't need to do anything special. All you have to do is shoot your multiples at your average meter reading, and that's it. There's no -3 exposure compensation like we did in film days, and screen blend modes and all these things that some folks have looked at. It really is quite simple, and made especially simple with Uwe's wonderful script. So the script, once you load it, is loaded under your File menu, under Scripts, and then the one you need to choose is the one that says Integrated. It's Layer Stack Opacity Blending Integrated. There's 2 there. The only one you're concerned about is the integrated one. We open that up. We then browse to the files that we want to use. I tend to shoot 9 images for my multiples. We hit open. That now loads those 9 images into Uwe's script. And now we want to hit the OK button. And just pay attention to the layers palette over here, and you'll see that Uwe's script is going through and layering all those in for you, and then automatically changing the opacity. Let me click back on the history here, ones where it's an unflattened image, and you'll notice this last one is at 11%, this one's at 12%, this one's at 14%, this one's at 6%. Those are the correct opacities that Uwe's program has automatically done for you, and at the end he collapses it down and even flattens it for you. Just a side note here, you're not necessarily done even with a in-camera one from Nikon. You may want to go in and check your levels and make sure it is what you want, brighten it up just a touch, or make your normal Photoshop corrections at that point. But you're essentially done, and it's that simple. So let's bring in Uwe's site here. I will put a link on this blog post so that you don't have to be writing anything down. You can click the link and go out and get Uwe's free download. And I believe, I think this is great out. There might not be an article, but it's really quite simple to download and install. And now you can feel free to go out and take lots of multiple exposure sets and assemble them very easily in Photoshop.